To do a series of videos with employment law expert David Wright, because I in particular get asked lots of questions from salons on different issues, and what I would always do is refer them straight over to David because he's just so knowledgeable in our industry. You probably know him from writing for Professional Beauty. He writes a monthly column, but he's the go-to expert that I would always go to. We're doing a series of 4 videos. This is the first one, and we're going to look at holiday pay. And David, I know you get asked so many times about what's right and what's wrong about holiday pay. So if you could just enlighten us as to what we're supposed to be doing and what's fair and what's not with holiday pay.
Of course, it's a massive subject, but to keep it as simple as possible, the basics are straightforward. So an employee working 5 days a week gets 28 days holiday. The word bank holiday doesn't exist, so it isn't 20 days plus 8 bank holidays, it's 28 days holiday, full stop.
Right.
The employer can decide if they want to fix any of those holidays, so lots of salons say you have to take a week in the first 3 months of the year, or you can't take any in December. As long as you have the rules written down, that's absolutely fine. The bit which trips people up and is topical is holiday pay.
Yes, I get asked a lot about this, especially when there's commissions involved and...
That's right. Well, what's happened is the law originally simply said when somebody takes holiday, they get the pay they would have received had they been at work. And I always thought that was fairly clear, but lots of employers have done it differently. So there have been cases where people have taken their employee to tribunal and right up to European court. And over the last 2 years, there's probably been half a dozen cases, and the employee has won every one of them. So it's absolutely clear if an employee earns commission when they take a week's holiday, they should receive the average commission they would have received had they been at work. The only thing the law doesn't say is how you work that out.
Oh, right. Because I always thought it was over a period of 13 weeks you had to take the average, or is that just a guideline? Or?
Well, there's not even a guideline. Lots of people use 13 weeks because if you make someone redundant and they don't have regular hours, you use the average over the last 13 weeks. So 13 weeks, 3 months is a fair period of time. Or otherwise, you'd have people who would get a really good week of commission and then take holidays a week after, if it was just over 1 week. So 3 months, 13 weeks is absolutely fine, and staff should receive that, and the cases are absolutely clear.
I think it's becoming a lot more in the press and things about this as well, isn't it? Because I know I was in the car listening on the radio, and it was all like, you know, are you at detriment when you're on holiday? A bit like, have you had a fall at work? So there's companies cottoning onto it as well, isn't there? Really, and
oh yeah, exactly. When a case goes to European court, it's always on breakfast telly the next day.
Right.
And I always get a flood of calls after that case, and then people seem to forget about it for 3 or 4 months.
Now, if somebody's listening to this and panicking at the moment, what way would you say is the easiest way to correct it?
Well, the minimum risk, because you don't want to get into and what about the last 5 or 6 years, is to say to the staff, I have decided that from the start of the next holiday year, I'm going to pay you average commission. Or if you think there's rumblings already on the shop floor, I've got a number of customers who've said, I've decided to pay average commission and I'm going back to the start of the current holiday year.
Right.
But I would sell it as a benefit to the staff. But legally, if you haven't been doing so, you're vulnerable because any member of staff can claim the arrears.
Right, well that's fantastic information. And if somebody wants to discuss that further with you, they would just get in touch with you through your website, through David Wright Personnel.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously David's also an expert in Salon Success Freedom, so the online programme. So and as well, do people contact you through Professional Beauty, or is it mainly...
My details are in Professional Beauty, but most people who ring me don't tell me where they've got my details from. Right. So I don't know, they just ring and they say, can I just check something? So on the website we give people access to one question.
Fantastic.
And normally that leads on to something else.
Yeah.
But holidays has been a big issue for
A long
a
time.
long time.
Yeah,
and what I
get
try
asked a
to
lot
do
about it.
is I'll give an explanation to the person, we give it to them in writing so they can share it with their staff,
Yeah.
because it's difficult to understand, and normally I'll lift 2 or 3 paragraphs from the actual tribunal case so they can see in the actual words of the court what the court said, and then it means I'm not making it up.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, David. That is absolutely fantastic. It's such great information, and it just clarifies everything. So thank you so much.